Now this is the remaining section of the translation which we were doing. We'll try to do a few more sentences because these sentences are very important. Most of them have been taken from the past papers and a few have been made by the teachers. So let's start now. I've told you a few things you need to remember while you're translating. You need to check the tense very carefully, whether it's an idiom. So you don't usually translate idioms, you see and find the English version of that particular idiom. Okay, so here we go. Sun, beach, Bora. And now it's not an idiom, obviously, so you need to see what tense is this. So this is now the present continuous tense. Farmer is sowing seeds. Okay, किसान बीज बो रहा है. बोना basically sowing. मेरा दोस्त सियालकोट के नज़दीक एक गांव में रहता है. Now रहता है, this sentence, when you read this sentence, usually the last two or three words, by reading them you can find out which tense does this particular sentence belong to. So here it belongs to the simple present. So how are you going to translate this? My friend lives. Okay, the present form of the verb. My friend lives in a village. Okay, in a village near, oh sorry, this is near Sialkot. Okay, that is how you translate it. My friend lives in a village near Sialkot. Okay. उसने बत्ती गुल कर दी. तो उसने बत्ती गुल कर दी. Simple past. Now some students, translate it as he closed the light by saying that he closed the light. So you don't have to say closed. So that is not the proper translation. The You usually say switched off, turned off. So he switched switched off the light. Okay, he switched off the light. Now this one, uh, just see this carefully. करीम सफेद कपड़े पहने हुए था. Like in English, we usually, you have to keep in mind the board pattern and the typical kind of translations made in our board papers. Keeping that in mind, what I feel is Kareem or Abdul Kareem, whatever, Kareem had worn the third form of wear. If we consider this sentence as past perfect, had worn white clothes, white dress. Okay, had put on, had white clothes on. But I'm just trying to make sure that it is acceptable in our board exams. So that is why I'm trying to bring a verb that is quite commonly used, and that is wear, W-E-A-R, wear. And then the third form, if you consider this sentence as past perfect, would be the past participle form, or the third form, which is worn. So we say wear, wore, and then worn. So Kareem had worn white clothes or white dress. Okay, coming to the next one. मेहनत करोगे तो ज़रूर कामयाब हो जाओगे. Now here, this is a conditional sentence. In conditional sentences, uh, two tenses are usually used in conditional sentences. The first part of this kind of conditional sentences, okay? So when you have this kind of a sentence, the first part of the sentence is going to be simple present. Like for the first part here, तो मेहनत करोगे तो, okay, that means तुम मेहनत करोगे. तुम is basically not written, but you consider it over here, like you will write it as if you work hard. Okay, if you work hard. Now you work hard, basically the if, because it's a conditional sentence, so you are supposed to write if, and after that the part of the sentence which you write is going to be simple present. You work hard. If you work hard, तुम जरूर कामयाब हो जाओगे. Now this part of the sentence from here will be simple future. Okay, you will definitely, because they are saying zarur, that means that is why we are writing definitely, otherwise there was no need of it. If you work hard, you will definitely succeed. Okay, कामयाब हो जाओगे, you will definitely succeed. Now just try to understand this sentence. Here what we have done is, in the first part of the sentence, that is supposed to be there because I told you it is a conditional sentence. Then the first part of the sentence is going to be simple present, and then the next part of the sentence is going to be simple future. So this is something which has to be kept in mind while translating conditional sentences of this sort. There are basically two types usually asked in exams for conditional sentences. This is one of them, and the other one which comes, we have done, I think, one conditional sentence, the other one also, but if it comes, I'll tell you again. But remember this particular sentence where you have future tense coming in. So the first part of the sentence is going to be simple present, and the second part of the sentence is going to be simple future. All right, let's get back. आपकी घड़ी में क्या वक्त हुआ है? Now, the appropriate one for this, students also write what is the time in your watch, but what is the time by your watch is an appropriate one, which is written what is the time by your watch. Okay, and don't forget to put a question mark. And remember, these are famous sentences which we usually, while in the conversation, we say what is the time in your watch, or we don't usually use the word in your watch or by your watch. We just ask what is the time. So when you are translating these kind of sentences, see that the appropriate one would be by your watch. Coming to the next one, कुतुब बीनी एक बेहतरीन मशगला है. Okay, कुतुब बीनी is very simple, reading. बेहतरीन मशगला, that means you can use a superlative degree, is the best. Now mashghala, for mashghala, you see, you can also write you know the proper translation over here. If you go for it, you can write hobby. Okay, I was looking for the word pastime, but actually in English language there's no one word pastime. They write past and time as separate words. So you can write hobby. Reading is the best hobby. Mm, and coming to the next one, आप इस तस्वीर में क्या देख रहे हैं? Again, it's a question. So, what are you looking at in this picture? Okay. What are you seeing in this picture? Okay, that seems fine. If you're writing looking, then I think you should write looking at. What are you looking at in this picture? If you're writing seeing, what are you seeing in this picture? Then there's no need to write what are you seeing at. Seeing is fine. What are you seeing in this picture? What are you looking at in this picture? Okay. Should we do a few more sentences? Okay. We'll try to do a few more. I'll erase these ones. I hope you must have written it. And let's translate it. देखना अच्छा बड़ों और बुजुर्गों का अदब कीजिए. Adab is simple. Now here it's an imperative sentence, so no need to go for the tenses here. Respect your बड़ों can be elders, okay, or respect your seniors and elders, okay. Respect your seniors and elders. Any other word that's there in your mind? I think this is fine. Respect your seniors, बड़ों and elders, बुजुर्गों. अगर तुम वक्त पर घर आओगे तो मैं तुम्हें घर पर मिलूंगा. Now see, this is the similar kind of sentence that we did, conditional sentence, and again this one will be having a future tense. So I told you in these kind of sentences, the first part of the sentence is going to be simple present. Okay. अगर तुम वक्त पर घर आओगे, if you come home on time. अच्छा, मैं तुम्हें घर पर मिलूंगा. I shall meet you. I shall meet you at home. In our conversations, we say if you come on time, I shall meet you at home. But here in the translation, because ghar par and then again ghar par is written, so I'm writing at home twice, so it sounds a bit odd. But if you keep the translation in mind, we have to write it in this way. If you come on time, I shall meet you at home seems more appropriate. But it's written agar tum waqt par ghar aoge. So that is why I've written if you come home on time. In our conversation, we also say if you are home on time. Okay, that's a bit casual. So here we have written if you come home on time, I shall meet you at home. Okay, coming, we have completed 10 sentences. Anyway, we'll do one more. सुबह से तेज बारिश हो रही है. Now, if you remember in the first page, the first worksheet which we did, I told you in what is the common mistake which students usually make in these kind of sentences. Very common mistake is they write, "It is raining since morning," and if you write this in the examinations, uh, you might not even get half a mark because this sentence is not a present continuous sentence. It is present perfect continuous, and you have to write it has been raining. Okay, it's written tez barish. That means you have to bring in some a word for tez barish also. Tez. It has been raining. Sorry, heavily since morning. And I told you that there is a difference between since and for, because the starting time over here is given. So that is why we are writing since. Otherwise, if there, if let's say the sentence was 2 घंटे से बारिश हो रही है, then you would have written it has been raining heavily for 2 hours. Okay. But in this case, because the starting time is mentioned, not the total time, that is why we are writing since. All right. It has been raining heavily. You need to bring in an adverb because it says tez barish. So this is, yes, adverb. I think heavily here is not an adjective in this case in the translation, because raining is a verb. So the word which describes a verb is an adverb. These are minor things you need to keep in mind, okay? And this is the remaining part of this second worksheet we'll try to complete tomorrow. And please, the children, try to understand and also note down all the translations which we are writing. In case if there is some mistake or you think there is a better translation for a particular sentence, yes, you can always uh, discuss, and you can always come up with another translation if your teachers or if somebody has told you, and we can discuss it for sure. Jazakallah children. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.